All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to consider whether or not the query that we've set ourselves up for is actually going to work for us when we're querying the entities for their components. So let's go ahead and take a look at the whiteboard. Right now, all we have is this query that we've created, well, inside of our query struct. And we're going to have, the number that we're querying for. So for example, if we want 3, that means we're looking for position this one and this one. We're ignoring health, let's say. So I can look at, this first item here and say, hey, do you have all 3? Okay, yes, you do. That's perfect. However, there's a problem here because I don't actually know which ones of these I'm looking at. Is it this row? Is it this row? Is it this row? Because I'm using a hash map to store these, it's just going to be impossible for me to tell, hey, you're what we expect it to be. So I'm going to need to store the type IDs along in here. So I need to know, hey, we're looking for these 3 type IDs, and this is the map that, this is the map that we're looking for. Okay, so that's great. Let's see. So how would we then use this to extract out all of our, all of the information, like the individual components? So I'm thinking we're going to loop through the map. So this would be like the entire map object that shows us, hey, this is player 1, this is player 2, this is static ship, this is enemy 2. So we loop through this, and then for each of those, we're gonna have to loop through these, and then grab this information out. So okay. For player 1, static 1 for this one. So actually it's probably best to just grab you first, right? So we do a get for all of you. And then we do a get on the map. So position 1, then loop through the map and say, okay, for player 1, are we grabbing you? Are we grabbing, you? So this would be 3 would be, let's see, 7 is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so 3 would be true for this, false for this. Let's see, 6, no, would be false for this, and true for this. Okay, great. Then move on to sizes. So in the next area down here. And then repeat the exact same thing. Meanwhile, building up this vector of vectors that we're going to return back. What this means to us is that we need to store these type IDs, and then I think we'll be good to go from there. So let's go ahead and update our query in order to sort of handle that for us. So let's go ahead and we're going to update the test. Make sure it fails in the test, and then we'll get it to pass with the, whatever we need to actually store inside. So what that means is we're going to have something in here, probably a vector of type IDs. And then we can assert that we actually have those. So here we're going to, with components, we're going to have 2 type IDs in here, we assume. We don't, let's see. We're using U32 and F32. Okay, so I think in here what we can do is just do an assert. So assert equal. Let's do the type ID of U32. We expect U to be the same as, then reach into query dot maybe like type IDs position 0. And I believe it implements copy, so this won't be a problem for us. And then we want to do the exact same thing. So this will be an F32, and you're going to be position 1. Now you're going to yell at me because there is no type ID. So let's go ahead and fix that first. So type IDs is going to be a vec of type ID. Then here, okay, so we're going to have just be an empty vector. So IDs is empty vector. And we're good now. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this test. We should get a failure because left does not equal right. Index out of bounds, right, because we haven't added anything in there whatsoever. So let's go ahead and now make this entire test pass. So with component, when we add you in, so it's going to be right in here. So self map, this bit mask. So we need our type ID. Well, here it is right here. So type ID. So if we find you and we're updating the map, let's also do a self dot type IDs dot push this type ID. Then I'm going to rerun this test. And now it's passing. So now we're going to have access to those type IDs when we go to do our query. So I'm hoping that this will actually help us do what we want to do in the coming videos. So I'll see you in those. Bye.